Hello, everyone. Welcome to UX Makeover Week. This is our last day of doing makeovers. It's kind of sad, but bittersweet. We've done 4 different exercises. Today is our 5th. I'm your host, Elizé. I'm an Adobe XD instructor, and I run Presenters in Pajamas Club, helping women become better virtual presenters. So let's take a look at my screen here. You are going to have access to this screen not to my screen, not to my home screen. You will have access to this design file that I'm sharing right now. It's in the description down below. So you can go ahead and download that. Make sure you have Adobe XD downloaded beforehand so you can access this file. And we are doing a movie website makeover today. I actually just watched a movie recently. It's like the first time I watched a movie in a long time, and I was going through this process of trying to buy tickets. I'm like, this is not a great experience. We could totally do a makeover for this. So what our challenge prompt is we're optimizing our user flow to take them from that home landing page to checkout in a flash. AKA, we just need to use call to action buttons better, and I'll show you what I mean by that in just a moment. So here's the design file. You are going to see this artboard that is going to give you all the steps that you need to do this design challenge, to do this design makeover in a short period of time. So we are condensing the UX process in about, I would say, a minimum of 30 minutes to an hour, up to 2 to 3 hours of work. So think about that when think about how much time you have that you can spend on it. And don't overstretch yourself. These challenges are made to really be fun and just to practice things and try out this process and see how you feel about it and just keep applying it again and again. So I have some suggested steps here in order to access these links. So I have, how to do a competitive analysis, how to sketch a wireframe, beginner XD tutorials that I've taught. If you want to be able to access these links, you have to select the artboard and then go over on the upper right hand side to play it. And then from there you can you can actually click onto these links here. All right. So first thing that I have here in the number one step to do when you're doing a makeover is you want to evaluate the current site, what is working, what isn't working. And we are going to be looking at Fandango.com. I don't know why I said it like that. Fandango. But you could look at any movie ticket or movie theater site that you want that could use some love. Let's take a look at Fandango. Here we have Fandango. If you were here with me yesterday, we talked about visual hierarchy, and something that we can notice right away is the thing that is taking up the most space is this poster. So it's obvious that that's what Fandango wants us to pay special attention to, this super pets. And then there's a call to action here to get tickets, and there's another action to watch the trailer. This constantly changes depending on the movie that's being played that weekend. And then when we scroll to really the meat of the page, what my eyes start to pay more attention to are these posters here. I'm not really sure exactly what would happen when I click onto them. I'm imagining I click into it and then maybe I'll see some options for a theater near me. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. And then there's some features, more posters, etc. So really there's not anything that's really a strong call to action that they want us to do as a user. The ability to enter the city and state and search for a movie is up here in the navigation, which is kind of an interesting experience there. It's not very typical to have such a big action that we want users to take in the in the navigation there. So that is something I've been paying special attention to. When I was looking at other competitor sites, I looked at AMC Theaters. And they also have the posters, but they have some nice call to actions that are more clear here versus this one, right? The call to action kind of gets lost in the poster. This one's nice and clear. They have nice big movie posters here with the ability to get tickets, these nice call to actions here as well. And it just feels really clean and easy to scan. Another site, oh my gosh, my favorite theater of all time is Alamo Drafthouse. If you have one near you, you have to check it out because they got like the best food. It's always hard to find good food in movie theaters. They've got some like nice, even vegan food, and they bring you drinks and beer and in the theater. And so like there's like the people who are working there, they like run in the dark underneath the seats and they like bring you your beer in the middle of the movie. It's really nice. So Alamo Drafthouse, this one, they have also a big banner up top here, a call to action. And then they have this interesting ability to flip through what we're searching for and when. It's kind of confusing to me initially. I'm like, what's happening? Oh, the bottom. Okay, that gets filtered. It's hard to notice what's happening with this initially. But they have nice large movie posters, and you have the ability to select the movie time straight from here. So these were some of my, this was some of my inspiration here. And from here, I created my wireframe and I designed my file. So let's take a look at what I created. All right, so it's not crazy different, as you can tell. There's this one and then there's this one, right? So this is the before, this is the after. And I still have the ad on top. I imagine that that is something that's really important to stakeholders, to have that big movie poster there. And I imagine that a lot of users want to just go straight from homepage to going into one of the most popular movies coming out that weekend. So I think it's good to have a big, large banner at the top there. What I did change was the call to action. So if you recall here, look at that little blue where to watch button. It is not very noticeable. There's not a lot of contrast. That was something we learned about yesterday with the blue background and the button, right? So I instead used that Fandango orange inside the banner. Then from here, I made the most poignant thing the search bar. So I took it away from here, from the navigation bar, and brought it into here. My thought was that most people would want to search from their zip code and see what movies are playing near them based on location and proximity. That's my assumption, and that's why I went forward with this type of design. So they can enter their city, they can enter a movie, and they can search that way. And then they can search by movie as well down below. So all I did for my design was everything above the fold, meaning everything before you start scrolling. You can, depending on how much time you have, you can just do above the fold as well. Or if you have more time, you want to play around, you can go ahead and do the full home screen. Okay, so one of the things that I took from my inspiration was HipCamp and Airbnb and Kayak, how they have that nice big search ability right up front and center. So I took that for my inspiration in my sketch. So here you could see I have that big search bar. I looked at AMC theaters. I really liked this movie scroll, the ability to scroll through the different movies and select and get tickets from there, as well as for Alamo. So I created this little carousel in my design as well. So after you've gotten some of that competitor analysis, you've looked at some design inspiration, you understand the strategy you want to move forward with, you're going to sketch out your design on a wireframe so you know the basic structure before you get into XD. That's the most important thing that product designer, when you're getting hired, they want to see that process, that you're not just going straight into the designs, into a design tool. So now, if you've been watching my other streams, you know that I don't like to design anything from scratch. I love using UI kits. UI kits are design files someone else has created, and I just use those kind of like Legos, and I restructure it so that it fits the wireframe that I've created. I am using this UI kit here. This is a Netflix UI kit, and this was built from Jordan Byrne. Now, what I'm going to say about this UI kit, again, if you want to access this UI kit, you're going to select this artboard, play it, and then you can click onto the link there. This is an interesting one that maybe some people don't know about with UI kits is you can find UI kits, Adobe XD UI kits from XD Guru, so xdguru.com. And you can find UI kits there, but you can actually also use Sketch UI kits. Sketch is a different tool, but you can still actually bring in Sketch files into Adobe XD. So I actually found this UI kit from sketchappsources.com. They have tons of UI kits, and you can search the type of UI kit you're looking for and download it as a Sketch file. Once you've downloaded something, I can download it right now. Once you've downloaded something as a Sketch file, so you can see it's downloading here. I can click onto it. In order to open it up into XD, I am going to right click, open with XD, and that allows you to open into Adobe XD. You don't have to have Sketch at all in order to use Sketch files. So this just opens up the world, or your world and my world and designers' world, for the types of UI kits that we can use in our designs. So we don't have to design everything from scratch ourselves. And this is really impactful and important when you first start designing and you want to be able to understand how other designers design cool things that you don't know how to use or do yet. So that's what I highly recommend. All right. We are using this Netflix one right here, and I am going to I always make a copy of it. I always have my wireframe right here on the left-hand side, and I am going to just delete. It's going to delete all this at the top. And I know that right away I want to have that big banner at the top for the ad. So I'm just going to hit R on my keyboard for the rectangle shape, make that big rectangle. And what I did was I just took a straight up screenshot from Fandango I copied and I just went and did a screenshot and pasted it right into my design. So I'm like, I don't need to redesign that. If you want to have fun redesigning an ad, go for it. But I don't got time for that. And I wanted to just use what someone else had. It's a nice design. Why not? But the thing that I wanted to change was this call to action. So I'm just taking this button from my UI kit, copying it, selecting this artboard, and pasting it. And then I'm putting it where I want it. And I'm just going to delete that little play, and I'm going to buy ticket, find ticket. I'm going to be using Proxima Nova because I've been using Proxima Nova for all of my designs thus far this week. And something I'll say though is Fandango actually does use Proxima Nova. I'm going to show you how I know. There is a Chrome extension that I use called What Font right here. What font? And when I use what font, I can click on any text on a web page and I can see what font styles they're using. So they are using Proxima Nova. It's a 16 size font, right? So this allows me, if I want to redesign or do a makeover for a site and I want to keep the font styles and the colors, etc., I can use that what font extension. I'm going to change this to Fandango Orange. And I'm just covering the current call to action there with this one. So it just stands out more. Boom. There we go. We're done with that part. So from there, I have the navigation right underneath. And so I'm going to use the same navigation bar. I'm just going to remove where it says Netflix and remove all of this. And I'm going to keep this search and this search icon. I'm going to use it later, if you recall, in this area right here. So this is grouped. See how everything is moving together? If I just take this search and I move it here, it's still a group, and it's weird that I don't want it part of this group anymore. It's going to be in a new group. So what I do is I copy these elements, delete them from this group. I select the artboard and I just paste. And it looks like it's still in the same group, but it's actually not. Now you can see it's no longer moving together. It's just being pasted exactly where it was. But if I look in my layers panel, it's not in that group anymore. It's off on its own. I'm going to now change this background navigation to white. And you can see that the person who originally designed it had an appearance of 90. So I'm just going to turn it to 100. So I just want a nice white bar. And interestingly enough, when I click onto the whole group, they change the appearance to 85% there too. So I'm just going to turn it to 100. Sometimes there's like these little funny things that you have to find when you're using someone else's design. And it's a little bit of exploring and trying to understand and going through the layers. But I still find that it helps my process and makes my process a lot faster. Okay, so here we have some navigation items. I'm gonna change this to Proxima Nova. And I have my little orange drop down. And I'm gonna just make this a group. So I'm selecting these two items, right clicking, making a group, and I'm gonna drag them over on the right hand side. In the original, let's bring over the original design. In the original design, I'm not gonna change the navigation much, movies, theaters, etc., join VIP, all that. I'm just gonna keep that as is. And I'm not gonna, to save time, I'm not gonna just jot all those down. You could just imagine that those changed to this. On the left hand side, what I have is I just did like movie ticks, but you can like grab that Fandango logo if you want. If I wanted to find a logo, all I would do is a Google search and I would just literally type Fandango logo PNG. Sometimes I do transparent. And then I go into my images and then I can go through and find a logo. So I can copy this one, paste that bad boy in. There we go. I actually like much prefer this navigation to the one that they have, just the logo that I'm even using, because it pulls in that orange already, that Fandango orange already in the logo. So you feel like you understand that that's their main color, and it just makes the whole site more cohesive when you start using that orange. Then from there, I'm going to make the background, the whole background layer. So I'm selecting the artboard, the whole artboard. And over here on the right-hand side of my property inspector, instead of having it black, am I going white? No, I'm going gray. I'm going to do Fandango gray. So I'm going to use my little eyedropper and I'm going to select that Fandango gray. And so that's going to be my background color. I don't want to change the colors of Fandango. I'm just rearranging them and putting them in a way for me that makes it feel a little bit more clean, and more cohesive, and for me, just like a more modern design a little bit. I want it so that when people land on Fandango, they still know that it's the Fandango site. They're not like, whoa, where am I now? So there's always that challenge when you're doing a makeover that you don't want people who are regulars to go get in an uproar when you make a change, such a dramatic change. Okay, I am going to place in a big old search button. You know, my little inspiration here from HipCamp. I like that big old search. And this is like my main call to action, really. So here's a big old rectangle. I am going to just copy and paste this text. And my text, I'm going to turn black. And I'm going to make it Proxima Nova. And I might I'm trying to go big or go home. Is that good? Is that big? I don't know. And I'm going to say find show times near you. Near you. And I'm going to make this bold. I might make it bigger. Now, when we talk about visual hierarchy, what do I want people to pay special attention to right here when they're on the screen? First, this. Secondly, this text. right? So that's why I'm making it bigger, making it bolder, making it stand out amongst the other elements. Then the next thing I want them to pay attention to is this big search button. I'm going to place in the text. I decided I was going to use enter state, zip code, movie, whatever it is. Where's my little white text? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I don't know. I'm going to just redo it here. So I'm just going to put that enter cities, state, and zip code. It's bold right now. That's a little too intense, right? These are now competing with each other. So I'm going to change it to medium. I might change it to an 18 font. Again, making it so that it's noticeable but not competing. The other thing I want to have is a nice big orange area for that button so they can search. So I'm copying this rectangle, I'm pasting it right in here, and then I'm just reducing the size and making it Fandango orange. Yes. Then I'm going to bring in search. Oh no, my search bar looks like my search icon. It looks like it's not there. It's there. It's just behind. So what I'm going to do here is it's over here on the left-hand side in my layers panel. I'm just going to drag it all the way up so that it's above the other layers, and now you can see it. Finally, to make it stand out a little bit more, have a little bit more contrast on this gray background, I'm just gonna select this rectangle layer, not the whole group, just the rectangle layer, and I'm going to put in a drop shadow over here on the right hand side so it stands out a bit more. I like to do like a nice strong blur, a nice forwardy blur, and it just kind of yeah, now we notice it. White on top of gray is like not the best contrast. So if we put a little bit of that drop shadow, it starts to make it pop out and stand out a little bit more. And people now know, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to click on this search bar and find a place near me. Yes, you are. And then I decided for the rest of my screen for now, again, I'm only doing above the fold, so just this top area before a user scrolls. I'm just going to use the posters that they have here. And then I wanted this to be able to allow people so that they can search by movie. So that would be the second action we want users to take. They can search from location, what's nearest them. They can also just search by movie, and then they can go into location. So those are two different routes that they can take right up top on the screen. Boom. There we go. I'm done basically. If I had more time, something that I was thinking that I would want to do is play around a little bit more with a call to action for the movies. So something like this with the movies at AMC, or even just having the title here down below underneath the movie so it's easier to read, so you feel like maybe it's a more clickable element, etc. So those are something that I played around with. That's why I grabbed those screenshots. But I only gave myself 1 hour of time to work on this, to go from like research and understanding the original design and what wasn't working, doing the competitive analysis, all of that in 1 hour time. And this is kind of where I ended up. So feel free to, again, do a little more, do a little less, do whatever works for you in the time that you have. And then once you are ready to share this, there's a couple ways to do it. You can grab this artboard and you can file, export selected, and you can export it as an image. Once you've exported it as an image, you can go ahead and share it in our Discord community. So Adobe XD has a Discord community. You can export your work here and place it into the XD Discord for people to give you feedback. We've got mentors there that give excellent feedback. You can also look at other people's design, give them feedback, learn from other people as well. And so it's just a great place for you to start building community and start learning from other designers as well. Cool. So I hope that you guys really enjoyed, this week with me. If you didn't see the other videos, feel free to check them out for this week. It's you're available to see it on YouTube as well as behance.net/live. You can watch all those videos. And you have actually 2 weeks to complete these challenges, this week as well as next week. So you have some time, if you weren't able to do all of them this week, to finalize, even like maybe make some updates, re-upload, get that feedback. And hopefully, you know, we can see your guys's designs just leveling up and leveling up and leveling up as you go. All right. Thanks for spending the week with me. I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend. Maybe you're going to go see a movie. Who knows? My husband just went to go see Thor. So hopefully you guys have a great weekend, and I'll hopefully see you soon. Bye.